So this is a push-up and the different variations of a push-up. Basically, you're gonna look to get your body out nice and flat, good, pretty plank here. You go all the way down to your chest touches the ground, and you press all the way back up to your elbow locks out. Rather than shortening up the range of the push-up, so don't do a half push-up, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna go to your knees. You do a push-up where you go to your knees, touch your chest to the ground, come back up. So you make it a little bit easier with where you're holding. Another thing you can do is you can elevate that. You can even go on your knees and elevate it. So go over, she'll show you on the box here. So basically go on your knees, elevate it up, go down till you touch your chest. But the same thing applies. We want the same range of motion. Chest touches the object, elbows lock out at the top. That's our push-up and some variations. All right, so this is a single arm press and a few of the scales that we can do for them. You get the dumbbell up on your shoulders. You wanna make sure that this is always braced like anything else that we do. And then basically, you press. Now the idea is once it goes up overhead, you wanna lock out the elbow, keep it racked right over the middle of the body, or sorry, right over the middle of the foot on that side. And then you just come back down. That's it. So brace and press. The tendency is to wanna twist with this. Try to resist that. That's part of the strength that we're going for here. So it's bells on your shoulder and press it up. This can be done with a kettlebell. This can be done with a dumbbell. This can be done with your hand. This can be done with a metal plate like this guy right here. You can take it as light as you need to. You can take a small child, put it in that hand. Just make sure you got a good grip on it. But that is a press. These are jumping jacks. They look like this. Woo! Other countries, they actually call them star jumps. But looks when the feet go out, hands touch, feet come back together, hands touch the side. Those are jumping jacks. So this is a deadlift. Deadlift, you're basically gonna have the weight on the ground and you pick it up. The idea here is basically keeping this low back as rigid as you possibly can. And the more you need to bend your knees, some people are gonna have a little straighter leg, but we wanna make sure that the chest stays as tall as we can and the back stays flat. Another way you can do this is by going in between the legs, and this is a sumo deadlift. So you widen up the legs and go here. The main thing to look at here is making sure the knee stays tracking out over the toe as you do this. Now you can actually make a really narrow stance or a narrower stance and do kind of a hybrid between the two. It's a narrower stance with the deadlift in the front. This is oftentimes a good compromise to keep a good back position for people who can't go on the outside of the legs, just they don't have that range. The other thing we can do is a suitcase deadlift, which is the same sort of dealio, but with just one arm. So you basically go down here and you try to stay balanced, which is hard because it wants to pull you in the direction of the weight. So keeping it off to the side and doing some lifts there. That's our suitcase deadlift. This is a lateral over the dumbbell jump. So you can start on one side, basically you look to jump to the other side. So, and we're not doing this. You can scale to that if you want to, but it's looking to jump from 2 feet, land on 2 feet. If you want to take this and make it just so it's a line, so even just a line on the floor, like this little black line here, that's a way we can scale that back and make it more appropriate for you. Be cautious with this. You're jumping side to side. We don't always do that, but it's fantastic movement. As you can hear by my breathing, jacks the heart rate up nice and quick. So these are dumbbell sit-ups. What I'm going to look to do is hold the dumbbell in my chest here. Just lie down with it in my chest, sit up, sit nice and tall, and then come back down. Sometimes you might see us sit up, reach up high, and come back down. That's not always the case, but a dumbbell sit-up is just hold it in your chest, sit up, and then come back down. This is a dumbbell sit-up. This is a dumbbell Russian twist. These are really hard. Use light load with these rather than heavy load. This is probably a little too heavy for me. What I'm looking to do, hold the dumbbell here, lift the feet up off the ground, stay rigid through the midline, so the belly, then I reach over to one side, touch to the side, reach over to the other side, touch to the side. So doomp, doomp, one. Ah, it burns so good. That is a Russian twist.